Shooting me both. And even then, he's like, like I said, the Wi-Fi is not working, so now we have to do off my phone, and it's the lag is like so bad, but it keeps going back and forth.
I was about to say, it looks like it's all green right now.
Yeah, but see, it'll jump back up. So.
How bad's the lag though?
I don't know. I haven't even tested it yet. So.
Yeah, I watched our post-game show back, and the mics were...
I figured out what's wrong with it.
Oh, okay.
It's the extender. It went bad or something like that. So we've got like 2 minutes. Like actually.
Please tell me the water fountain up here.
Over here.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna have to get comfy today. So let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed we stand too far back too.
Yeah. So where am I at?
That's good.
Okay. Give me my iPad Pro, by the way.
You want it?
Yeah. It's gonna be like my notes. Just be buying me a new one, and I don't want
so much for that. Or is this the one you got for free?
No, they both were for free.
It's the only way we'd get them.
All right, we're gonna start in here in a second. Am I on? Like, is there enough room or?
Yeah. Your quarter profile.
Okay. Here, hand me the bag.
Which one?
Just the big duffel bag.
This one? No, this one.
Okay.
I didn't break it.
So no,
You're past that point. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. Because I'm a little bit more right there. Because that puts you there, and then I would stand.
You're gonna have to get right up on
Stand
me.
here. So how's that look? You go. I'll stand here. You go look.
Scoot over a little bit. Scoot over a little bit. One more. No. Right there. That's like.
Got it. I wore my colors. Synergy Fest, but nobody will know that.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock. It's August 27th, 2016. I am Kevin Pell, the one true voice of high school sports in the Coachella.
Prophet of high school sports.
I like it.
I like it too.
Jim Eisenacher, Kevin Pillow with you. We are live here from Shadow Hills High School, the site, today of some more football pandemonium.
Junior All-American weigh-ins, man. You know, I wish when I coached Junior All-Americans, I didn't, I could just come to Shadow Hills to do it. No, I had to drive all the way out to Marietta.
I know, it's funny as we're sitting here and we're getting ready to do the show. And first off, we've seen the entire campus of Shadow Hills today.
I came close to having to hop a fence.
And I would have paid to see that. I would have put that live on YouTube.
I can hop a fence.
I will.
I used to be an athlete.
I need to put this out there that we might have some intermittent technical
home base of operations.
Yeah, and
you work here, so.
Well, I do the announcing on Friday nights, but for some reason the Wi-Fi didn't want to work this morning.
Well, you know what? After the game that would not end last night, I did not envision an easy start to this morning because I am exhausted.
I am absolutely myriad of different ways, and that is beginning, of course, with Facebook. Some of you logged on through Facebook this morning and found our Ustream, our YouTube link. You can, of course, check that out if you didn't.
And we got people that just walk in and make it look easy.
Well,
I guess it works when you have keys.
Yeah, it's nice when they have keys.
Oh, got a drill line going on back here.
Yeah, the band's practicing on a Saturday morning. Of course, that's what.
Yeah, I got my workout in for the day.
All right, so did I. I'm going to continue my workout later on today with Comic-Con Palm Springs, which I want to get to here in just a couple of moments.
I thought we were going to be shooting out by the field, so I didn't bring my knee brace. I did not envision this much walking going on.
You know what? Neither did I. I anticipated us broadcasting live
but
from
you know
inside
what? I like where we are. It's nice and shady. Got a nice wind tunnel going on at our backs here.
It's not a bad gig.
And we've had some gorgeous nights these past couple nights.
It was absolutely phenomenal last night. It was a little warm.
Football weather.
It was football weather. It was a little warm in the first half. We obviously saw some of the cramping. Again, we'll talk about that in our DCA coverage. But I want to talk about some of the ways you can get involved with the show. Of course, if some of you are on our social media sites, at PrepSportsNet on Facebook, at PrepSports_net on Twitter, at PrepSportsNet on Instagram. But I do...
Underscore net on Twitter.
On Twitter, but on
Yes.
Instagram, it's all one word.
Yes.
But I do want to throw this out there. We also have an email address. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can do so by emailing the show. The email address, officialprepsportsnet@gmail.com.
I'm going to share the link real quick because I didn't get a chance to do that yet.
Neither did I, so why don't you go ahead and do that?
I'm going to do that.
But I want to do this. This is kind of cool because every good show, whether it's radio, television, whatever,
do not have us on it.
whatever it may be, we need to have a text line.
We do need to have a text line.
Everyone texts these days.
I'm doing it right now.
These kids these days, and they're texting and stuff like that. I know.
Hey, you should text uphill both ways in the snow.
Yeah. We do have a text line. It's right here. It comes right to my handy dandy little iPhone here.
Notebook. Ding.
And the
Blue's Clues? No, nothing for Blue's Clues?
No.
Come on. Oh.
The text line is
Terrible person,
760-289-5034. Again, that's 760-289-5034. If you've got something you want to talk about, whether it be about last night or any other games going on around the Coachella Valley, you can do so by texting in that number. We'll also share that on our Facebook page as well. Like I said, a lot to get to. We have about an hour with you this morning before, well, Jim, you were going to go to Comic-Con Palm Springs, but then you couldn't get today off. You got the kids. You're watching your niece and nephew today.
My nibblings, yes.
And so you are bailing on Comic-Con Palm Springs.
I'm not bailing on Comic-Con at all because while I'm sitting at home, I'm just going to have like Sarah McLachlan playing and just think about what could have been.
What could have been. Now, I will speak on behalf of my wife and my children who are now going to get to go because you weren't able to go. And I apologize they weren't able to go, but they are very, very appreciative that you weren't able to go.
All I asked for is a donut.
I don't know if I can get you a donut this morning, but
That's fine.
Maybe I'll get you something from Comic-Con.
You know what? That's even better. Give me a Comic-Con donut.
Can I get you a lock of Stanley's hair?
Does he have any?
I
thought he was like me.
I was just going to say, if you notice that he's bald, actually.
I did see Desert Sun's coverage of him, coming out and cutting the ribbon. And my favorite part of that, the entire part, was the crowd chanting Excelsior. He does it, and then it's a huge ovation. And he's standing around like, all I have to do is say one word, and people melt.
How about the Hulk showing up?
Oh, I know.
Ferrigno
I can't believe Hulk Hogan showed up. That was awesome.
No, it was Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, the other Hulk.
The other Hulk.
Oh, yeah, Mark Ruffalo is awesome.
No, the other Hulk.
I'm too young, Kevin, or too old, or something like that.
It was before the guy that was in the other movie.
Yeah, I know who Lou Ferrigno. Oh, that was what's his name?
Yeah, him.
I don't remember his name.
The
but
guy.
He kind of.
Sorry.
Ed Norton.
Ed Norton.
Yes.
I actually liked him as Bruce Banner and.
I'll be honest with you, I still have not finished that movie.
Never finished in the Incredible Hulk.
The first Hulk, after the Ang Lee travesty that
my
happened,
gosh, don't
it
even
was
get me
so
started
hard.
We've of course, as tradition, we have veered off topic. We have
This
a lot.
is our own show now.
It's our own show. We don't answer to anybody. You answer to me, and I don't. And at this point, I don't care.
Do I though?
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
Great slate of games last night. Great way to kick off week 0. Obviously, the only downside was not all 14 teams were playing in week 0. Obviously, we had La Quinta, Palm Valley, and Desert Chapel all had off weeks, but 11 teams were in action last night. And we, of course, picked what looked like was going to be a pretty close matchup. In the third quarter, not so much, but at the end, they tried to make it interesting, and that was Desert Christian Academy and Lancaster Baptist.
Yeah, you know what? Like I already dubbed it the game that would not end because we didn't get home. I did not cross the threshold of my house and of my front door until 11:03.
And between dropping Jim off and handling some after-hours work to prepare for tonight, and of course doing some show prep, and then obviously doing some social media stuff for Prep Sports Net, I actually did not hit pillow until after 1 o'clock in the morning this morning.
Your last name's Pillow.
I know. So it was a long night for week 0, but it's football season. That's a typical schedule.
Absolutely. And it's going to take a little while to get into the swing of things, but if I took these glasses off, I'd look like I'm dead. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them on. But yeah, same with me. I didn't actually lay down. I ate some dinner because I was dumb and forgot to eat before the game.
Yeah, I made that mistake.
My blood sugar kind of crashed in about the third quarter. That lasted 2.5 hours. And yeah, I should not have eaten so late. Horrible nightmares. really bad dreams, like really bad. I woke up, I was late for school. I'm not even in school anymore, but I'm still in school. Really weird.
Well, last night, Desert Christian Academy, they started out the game in an exciting fashion. Matter of fact, Wyatt Snellenberger just mere plays after the game started, hooked up with Jacob Ashaw across the middle, scored the game's first touchdown, and what seemed to be the first touchdown of the entire football season. It happened so quickly. Oh, wait, I forgot. There was one other game. One other touchdown happened a little quicker, and we'll get to that in just a couple moments. But it seemed to me that Wyatt Snellenberger and the Desert Christian Academy offense had everything dialed in. They scored 2 quick touchdowns. They ran in another one about another possession later. They allowed Lancaster Baptist to march downfield, punch it in. It seemed, though, despite that touchdown, that the Eagles really couldn't get anything consistently going. They like the old saying, they'd take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. They really couldn't get anything going. On top of that, you mentioned how long the game dragged on, and a lot of it had to do with the officiating and just dragging out simple ticky-tack fouls and penalties. So a combination of the inability for the Eagles to really start their offense and the litany of flags and elongated explanations of those flags really made for a struggle of the first half.
Yeah, and I'm never one to knock refs, even when I coach, but just a lack of hustle on the officiating crew. A lot of not standing around, but like you said, taking the time to call the penalties and just elongating things out. It's week 0. I mean,
got to work the kinks out somewhere.
It's to be expected. It's a 3-man crew. We're in a ref shortage, so I applaud endlessly the refs being out there for these kids, but it's something they got to get into the groove of things as well. I mean, I think from what I saw, it was the first time this crew working together.
Yeah.
So, they're still trying to build chemistry with one another. And it's like what we saw with Wyatt Snellenberger with his new teammates. The chemistry was
left up in the pocket. All of a sudden, the pass protection wasn't there. And usually what has been a very strong point of the Scott Gilbert offense has been the offensive line. He's always had strong play and the Eagles offense to really an average of about maybe 1 or 2 yards per play, which isn't bad, but it's not great. It's not going to get you in the end zone.
Yeah.
They were able to bust out a couple of long runs and take advantage of some miscues by Desert Christian Academy to make it a close game. They went into halftime down by, I believe, 1 score. But like you said, the second that third quarter hit, it was as if Wyatt Snellenberger turned the switch off. And I don't want to say went to sleep, but something happened. I don't know if it was a mixture of a lack of confidence, if it was the fact that you said maybe he was getting more pressure in the pocket, the offensive line breaking down, or if it was a different scheme that the Eagles came at. We talked about at halftime yesterday, was that the Eagles were going to need to make a change on defense. They weren't giving Wyatt Snellenberger enough pressure. They were still able to get in the backfield and just enough to keep him, to flush him out of the pocket for a moment. Yeah. But the problem is Wyatt will kill you with his feet too.
Oh, yeah.
But it just seemed that they changed their scheme a little bit. I didn't know if I think they switched slightly to a 3-man front, went with a nose guard, and then put the defensive ends out wide to give those tackles a little bit more trouble. So, like I said, a combination maybe of Wyatt's confidence going down. We saw him also cramp late in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I think he missed about a series and a half. That was also tough. But again, I think the offensive line got bogged down by a changing defensive scheme by the Lancaster Eagles.
Yeah, you can see he was visibly frustrated, and his body language really showed it. That's something as a quarterback, whether things are going good or bad, you got to control. And I understand he's young. It takes a long time to mature. I mean, he's still just a junior, So I think I know exactly what happened. I think it's my fault. I think I jinxed him with my halftime comment. When I said Kenny Gagnon who, because the second I said that, a completely different Conquerors team showed up.
And of course, I did not want to correct Jim when he made the comment of Kenny Gagnon who, because this just a couple of months ago, actually just a couple of weeks ago, the story broke that Kenny Gagnon is playing college football, and not only is he playing college football, but he is playing NC2A Division I football. Not meaning he's sitting on his couch playing it on Xbox. No, he's playing defensive back. Kenny Gagnon has been a lockdown cornerback for the Bulldogs in their training camp. However, I think you're probably going to see Kenny get redshirted and brought back, and maybe they can offer him a scholarship in 2017. But he has really impressed the defensive back coaches and the head coaches at Fresno State, to the point that he got himself a jersey. So for the time being, he's going to be a Bulldog, but I think that in the very near future, he's probably going to get redshirted.
Yeah.
But again, this is another player who came out of the Coachella Valley, in this particular case, an 8-man football at Desert Christian Academy, that is now playing Division I football. The other one, most recently being James Tolan, was right here at Shadow Hills, now playing for the Trojans of USC on their special teams. We'll see what happens for him, because he's vastly approaching his senior year with USC. I think he's got about 2 or 3 years left of eligibility.
He was redshirted.
He was also redshirted, and was also a preferred walk-on for the Trojans. So we'll see what they have to offer. But again, I think, you maybe jinxed him a little bit, because I didn't want.
It's the Wyatt Snellenberger show. He was connecting with new people, and he showed really good chemistry in that first half with his new targets. Number 2, the wide receiver.
I just completely
exactly. So no, but that's the. I don't remember the name, but I remember the number, because that's how many times he was going to him. That was the first touchdown of the game. Looked very, very good. It was a name I should remember. No, that's what led me to the comment. Kenny Gagnon, who? Because that's what we saw last year, was Wyatt DeGagnon. And he said when he didn't have that, that was kind of one of
Seth Kent.
Yes, Seth Kent. That was one of my keys to the game, was who is he going to find? Who is this team going to find to replace Kenny Gagnon? And from all accounts, it looked like they went wide receiver by committee. And then after I said that, the entire wheels fell off of the Conquerors team.
Jacob Shaw was the other big target for Wyatt Snellenberger. Take a look at the stats. On the night, the Conquerors dropped to 0-1. They lose 56-44 on the night to Lancaster Baptist. They made it interesting at the end. Got a couple of onside kicks. Beautiful kicking on the onside kick by the Conquerors. But on the night, Wyatt Snellenberger, he goes 23 for 53. That is almost like 2 or 3 games in. He threw, the fact that he was able
Gotta love 8-man football, right?
53 passes in one game, had 195 yards on the night, 4 touchdowns through the air, on the ground for Wyatt Snellenberger. He had 64 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns on the night. His longest of the day was 24. The next best score was Cody Burt at 28 yards, but it was pretty much all Wyatt Snellenberger last night.
It was the Wyatt Snellenberger show.
Seth Kent scored 2 of the passing touchdowns that Wyatt Snellenberger threw. The other one coming from Harrell and Burt. So again, a big night statistically for the Conquerors, but they just were on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to the scoreboard. They lose 56-44.
It looked like the game really went out of hand with the defensive end for the Conquerors. When he went out with a stinger, I think is what he was diagnosed with.
That was the player who was not on the roster last night that did end up going out with a well, we don't know if it's actually a stinger, but it seemed like some kind of neck or upper back injury, and that, of course, was Evan Bolta Howard, who was not on our roster last night, but we see he's been added. We had 1 tackle, solo tackle, 5 total tackles last night in the loss to Lancaster Baptist. We still don't know the extent of that injury. We also don't know the extent of some of the other injuries that we saw, but for the most part, I think with the exception of Evan, that last night's injuries were primarily in the realm of hydration issues and cramping. So
eat a banana, kids.
We saw a lot of kids plugging their nose and drinking the pickle juice yesterday. That also
mustard also helps too.
That's what I keep hearing. But little known fact. This has been I think a couple of the cross country runners at Xavier Prep and Shadow Hills have told me that the secret to cramping is pickle juice.
Really?
So I don't know what it is.
I'm so glad I'm not an athlete anymore, because I hate pickles. Like, just the smell makes me nauseated. But no, we talk about the defensive end, and you bring up his stats, but the things he was doing with stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He was keeping the edge contained, which is why we saw that Eagles running game completely shut down the entire first half.
And I think the fact that when Evan went out, that was also probably an X factor, because it was right when he went out, they were able to expose that side. They were having issues up the middle. That's where they were getting some success with Anderson. But once Evan went out of the game, and they were able to expose that left side, because the left side of the line, meaning the right side of the defense rather. Yeah. That's where it became That's where it became a problem for Desert Christian Academy is they exposed the issues in the backup position on that side of the defense, and they were able to run the ball a little bit better. And of course, when we were covering the second half and they were coming at us on that side, we saw them chip away 3, 4, 5 yards per game, or per game. So that was also an X factor, was the fact that they lost a key player. We are live here from Shadow Hills High School. Kevin Pill alongside Jim Eisenacher. It is weigh-in day for the Junior All-Americans. As a matter of fact, I believe, as we see running onto the arena here, or into the quad, is actually it looks like to be the Little Knights. I'm sorry, that's
that's cross country.
No, that's the band.
Oh, that's the band. Okay.
I was gonna say those are a
I was
little
gonna
bit.
say there's a lot of people there for
There's
that
a
to be.
lot
I mean, I
of-
know the Little Knights program has grown tremendously, which is something I love to see in the Valley. I know I got I cut my teeth on Junior All-American football, so love it. But that is a lot for one program to have.
Moving right along, the Conquerors fall to Lancaster Baptist. They will be at home, and you mentioned last night in post game was the fact that the Conquerors, I believe, are playing 4 straight home games to open up the regular season, which is very unusual. But then at the same time, there's a lot of schools out there that are going to play 4 straight road games this season. Conquerors will play the Noli Indians next week. Lancaster Baptist will move back up into their area. I mean, what a long drive to win, lose,
I
or draw.
actually don't even know where that is.
It's above. I think the best
Is it
way
in
to
Lancaster?
It's in Lancaster.
Okay.
It would be above Magic Mountain.
Oh wow.
Yeah, exactly.
So up by Valencia.
Yes.
Oh.
Up past Valencia.
That and then not to mention the game ending so late, they probably didn't roll in until about 1.
Oh, well, if not later.
Yeah,
So.
that's just getting to the campus.
Staying on the east side of the valley, let's talk about the Indio Rajas. This was a game that we thought Desert Mirage would have in the bag easily last year. The Rams rolled to an easy win to open up the season against Indio, who only won 1 game the entire season.
Yeah.
But last night it was a completely different Raja team. They rolled to get this 200. Leading the way for the Rajas was David Alvarado, who had 68 yards on 10 carries, including a 12-yard touchdown on the night. The Rajas coming away with a huge win at home. They win, get this, 31-0 against Jeff Tevelek's Desert Mirage Rams.
You know what? That's the name you talk about. The name that we were told during our prep with the Indio head coach was that running back. That was the name we were told because they were talking about how they were going to replace last year's running back who had a very, very good season and a down year for the Rajas. And looks like they found their guy.
Of course, the new quarterback also had a strong night, but again, I think when you say 31-0, most people are going to say, "Wow, what an offensive performance by the Indio Rajas!" But the most glaring thing from that 31-0 score is not the 31. It's the goose egg that they put up.
Yep.
Defense stepping up, pitching a shutout last night. Great job by the Indio defense.
And I'm gonna be the one to come along and challenge the Rajas to keep doing this because Desert Mirage, a lot like Indio, was in a rebuilding phase. They lost a lot of personnel. And they're playing kind of a down and out right now Desert Mirage team. And hey, like you said, Jeff Tevelek does a great job over there at Desert Mirage.